Hello, everyone. It's Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for all of those that didn't get notifications, so you had to catch the replay. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. As you come in, if you could please like, if you could please subscribe if you have not done so already, and share and let everyone know that we are on. I see you guys coming in. We have a lot to talk about. Hey, CBBJ, St. James in the house. Good to see you guys. Poetic Mouth. Kathy, good to see you. Matthew, good to see you. Hey, Nessa. Hey, Larry. Alice, good to see you. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Jijinga. I don't know if I said that right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, and welcome, welcome. If it's your first time, let me know if it's your first time. Hey, LaFrance, Kimberly. Yes, hello to the chat, all the mods. Alicia, hello. Cora, hey. Hi, Patricia. How is everybody doing this Wednesday? How is everybody doing? I'm just gonna wait maybe for a few more people, see if they get some notification to come on. You guys came on pretty quick, so they're doing better with notifying people that I am on. We have so much that's going on. We got Nicki Minaj just sued one of the bloggers, so I guess that's the new thing. They suing bloggers for defamation. We have Cardi B and Cardi B and Tasha K. We have Tasha K and Larry Reid. We have the bishop trying to get new investments from people. I mean, there's just so much to talk about today. I was like, am I going to have to change and do this into two different segments? Oh, thank you. It's the ring light. My husband put the ring light on. Hey, Cynthia. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of the compliments. You said, ain't Tasha? What kind? Listen, I saw the picture. Do you guys really believe that's going to be the first general question I'm going to ask? Do you guys really believe Tasha is in Africa, or is she just doing one of the Tasha like antics? Because I didn't believe it. I was just like, girl, whatever. Hey, Miss King. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey. Hey, Miss Infamous. You said she's probably just visiting, if anything. Yeah, but people are putting up pictures like she's escaped. Now, if she decided to escape, she definitely has a reason to, because clearly Cardi B is not playing about her money. So she may actually be trying to figure out a way. Maybe she just wants to psych the world out so nobody will come after her assets. Okay, Denise, I'm good. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys are all doing well. He says she's clickbait as usual. I don't even know what to think about Tasha. So, as I was stating before, I went over on Instagram to look on Tasha K's page. Now, I very rarely like, if I'm in court in a hearing or in depositions and it's getting a little boring, I do scroll on the internet. I'm gonna have to like be honest. But that's usually, I don't follow half these people, so I don't find out unless it hits the shade room or something. But I went over on Tasha's page and I seen that she was covering, or she alleged to be covering, the lawsuit with Whitehead and Larry. So I'm like, okay, let me go look and see what she has to say. So I look on it and it was just shady. It was so shady. Like I was really thinking she's going to, because Tasha K and Larry are supposed to be friends at that time. I thought they were. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Get a little press out there when it has to do with the lawsuit, see how it's frivolous or whatever you want to say. But that's not what Tasha did. When I saw what she posted, I was just honestly, I was shocked. I'm like, what? So she basically ends up let me see what her post was saying. Ooh, my comments disappeared. Wait a second. Okay, you guys are back. You said live there are no permanent friends and permanent, and that is a true statement. He said Larry is being sued by Leonard Jenigan. That's the T on Crumpet's story. This about Matthew. I heard about that too, and if I have time, I'm going to give my assessment as it pertains to that threat that Minister Linda Jernigan has said. But with Tasha K, so she says, our two favorite men of the cloth have come to a point of what seems to be no return. Bishop Whitehead recently filed a $20 million lawsuit against my fellow YouTuber Larry Reid. I would love to see the itemized receipts of the bishop's explanations to how Larry and company has cost him $20 million. While this is upsetting, it's not shocking. Though Larry's ministry has helped fund his baby mama's toting Hermes Birkins, if Whitehead's flock has helped him raise over $20 million in revenue, why was the tithes and offering not used to get them out of that crawl space above the bar in Brooklyn? The two have had bad blood going back to when Larry Reid had hair. We don't have a dog in this fight, but we will keep them in prayer and leave the Baldy boys with these words of wisdom. Whosoever believeth in him may not perish, but may have everlasting life. Could y'all help me with this one? How do you say I am about to cover the lawsuit, but then you throw in making allegations that you don't know for real is true, but you make allegations like somehow you mentioned his baby mom or his ex-wife and getting Birkin bags. What are you like? What are we talking about? What does this have to do with the $20 million? So I'm looking like I don't understand. So then she does a video and she basically says, she shows a clip, I guess, from, if anybody is in her app, you can let me know in the comments because I'm not paying for her app. But she says in the app, she puts a little video clip and she basically says that Larry, she was out here windmilling for Larry and his sexuality, but Larry is really he told her or admitted to her that he was gay or something. I'm like, what does this got to do with the $20 million lawsuit? I'm so confused at what happened. So then I said, well, Tasha, something got to be going on with her, right? Because oh, you said you are, but you're about to kill. So tell me if you saw that, because all Tasha did was show a clip of her on Instagram saying that he basically told people or admitted, and we know what Larry tells his story, and he'll say he was molested. Anybody familiar? He gives his testimony all the time, and then he says he had a point after the fact, I guess, where he had some experiences, but he doesn't identify as gay. Why do we care about folks what they identify as or who they with, who they sleeping with? I did not understand the purpose of this in this whole conversation. And you're supposed to be friends. I don't get that. You said she's messy. Yeah. Something is wrong. Said girl, I don't even go there. How you go spend the money and don't y'all put my cash app in there because cocaine like to just spend some money on people that she don't even go on the app. So y'all put my cash app on there. Yes, y'all have 80 people watching. I need y'all to hit the like button, please. But you know what though? Let me tell you. Tasha going through. I think that's what part of the issue is. And you know, when people go through, they take it out on everybody else. They take it out on everybody else. You can, I mean, let's see here. I was just perusing around just to see what was going on with Tasha. And honey, on September 1st of 2022, somebody not playing about getting their money. That somebody is not playing about getting their money. She has filed to get her money. So I would probably be upset at everybody around me too. That says if I saw something that had my name on it that said $3,363,753.47, yeah, I might start going in on y'all too. I just might. I appreciate that. You said you'll pay me money before. And she put a link because at first I said maybe she's just gonna try to prove a point. No, she's not just trying to prove a point. She actually is requesting that she receive this money. She is actually requesting to the court that she gets this money. And then there's another one. Let's see if I can find that document. Let's see. This one has the writ of execution, and this one is for the Kibi Studios. Y'all see that amount in there? $2,863,753.47. Yes, Ray Bishop. Her middle name is Serena. So yeah, I might have a little attitude. So Larry, don't take it personal. I mean, this is a whole lot. That's people been saying $4 million judgment, but when I add that 3 million and something against her and 2,800,000, that's a lot more than 4 million that people are out here talking about. That ain't no joke. So now her attorney did say that since she has filed an appeal, she did say under their laws then she could put a bond up and not have to pay the money. So I'm sure there's legal stuff going on. She did file a notice so that she wouldn't have to pay this amount, even though she did the writ. But I just couldn't believe Cardi did it in the first place. I'm like, is Cardi really? Yeah, Cardi's really serious and she really wants her money. She wants her money. So that might be part of what the attitude kind of is that's going on right now. You said she lied on her attorney about the judge messing up. What happened is when you say the judge will give you an opinion regarding your case. So we get the verdict or whatever from the jury, or we get an opinion from the judge. But until he does a final order, you can't file any appeals. You have to attach the order to the appeal. What her attorney did, from what I was able to gather from the docket, was it looks like she immediately filed the appeal before getting the order. Now, Tasha was saying that the judge messed up, but I mean, how do you tell a judge when they're supposed to sign an order and not sign the order? They don't always sign it the same day. I've gotten orders 30 days later. It's an order I'm waiting on now, and it's been like 4 weeks. So, but you can't appeal it until the date that they sign that order is when your clock starts ticking for your days that you have to appeal or that you have to appeal. You said she's hired. Oh, so now her attorney did say that since she had filed an appeal. Yep, her attorney did what I mean she should have. If you said that you're going to appeal, then you try to get a bond, a supersedis, in order to or sometimes they don't even require a bond to kind of protect the amount, and you don't have to give it to them, or you don't have to give them that judgment, because if you went on appeal and it comes back down, then you won't have to pay for it. So that's what the bond is supposed to be for. You said they filed the appeal too early, but Tasha said the judge didn't close it. No, they filed it too early because there wasn't a final judgment. You can't file it. So the Court of Appeals doesn't get what we call jurisdiction until after the lower court has an order. Then they get jurisdiction for you to appeal. But you don't have a final order or a final judgment, then what are you appealing exactly? You said this lawsuit just opened Pandora, which comes to social media stating their opinions about public figures. Yep, and I was about to get to that. That's exactly what happened. So if you notice, Nicki Minaj just filed a lawsuit as well. And in her lawsuit, she's claiming that someone that is on YouTube that I'm not familiar with, because I guess I'm lame. I don't keep up with everybody on YouTube. But someone pretty much known, she got into it on YouTube, and or she has a YouTube channel, Nosy. Is it Nosy Ho? Is that what her name is? I don't know. But she made some allegations, and she, of course, she talked about, guess she talked about Nicki doing some type of drugs or something like that. This is all what she said. This ain't what I'm saying, Nicki. So I don't need you coming for me, because I ain't got it. Okay. I'm just reporting. That's all I'm doing, because my people are asking. So said something about some cocaine, said something about her husband, which we all know from the blogs was accused of some sexual type allegations and is on a sexual registry for it. Then she brought the kids in and she went hard in the paint, though. I was looking like, what? She said the kid is going to end up growing up, doesn't really have a dog in the hunt because the way the parents are. I'm like, well, goodness. Okay, let me go back to the comments. You said she said the judge makes Tasha think. Yeah, yeah, I heard her say that when it was another argument. Because see, with the thing with Larry Reid, what I noticed, and I know Larry's not dumb, so I know he picked it up. But when she did the whole him raising money before and kind of making the allegation like, well, where'd your money go? Because the attorney paid for all the fees, which we reported on before. Uh that was that was kind of like insinuating the same thing that this post is insinuating. It's like, if you're my friend, why would you try to even put that inference out there? But I've noticed that she gets into it with a lot of people. So you said Nicki has been DMing her. The barbs have been. Well, the barbs, these celebrities, they get their fans, and their fans are going to windmill for them. So the defamation lawsuit that Nicki Minaj had filed, wish I should have had it pulled up. It's not defamation per se, because they didn't say that she committed a serious crime as far as drugs. They were basically saying that she used drugs. So that can be defamatory as far as your image and your reputation, but you would have to show some type of damages. When you do that defamation per se, there are typically 4 categories of which you can do defamation for say per se. There used to be 5 in most states. So if you say something that's adverse to somebody's in a career, their industry, trade, and you cost them money, if you say someone is promiscuous or unchaste, if you say someone has a loathsome disease, if you say someone has doing serious criminal crimes, criminal activity, like not activity, it has to be you're saying that they're convicted of a criminal, serious criminal charge, even though they're not. Every state is different on how they word it. And the 5th one used to be if you accuse somebody of homosexuality. That used to be defamation per se. But you have places like in New York, for instance, that have recently held that saying someone is a homosexual is not cause for defamation per se. Because how does that really look when you have you're basically identifying that as something that's like horrendous, like a criminal. You're putting that in the same category. So since times have changed, like Larry was on yesterday, and that's what I said when someone mentioned Linda Jernigan and what she was saying and how upset she was. I was like, this is not 1925 where that's a big thing that you can be trying to sue people for defamation for in most states. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to find, there's always exceptions. Like here in Michigan, you commit adultery, it's still on the books where you can go to get convicted, charged, convicted, and go to jail in theory. So I'm not saying that it's not on the books in some places, but in a lot of places over the years, because of how the times have changed when it comes to homosexuality, they don't consider that defamation per se. So now that means that you're just saying they defamed your name, and now you're going to have to prove damages. So all this general stuff of I lost $20 million, I lost $10 million, I lost 75,000. No, you're going to have to prove where those figures came from. See, that's why people like to try to sue in defamation per se and try to say you imply criminality, you imply promiscuity. I think that's what Miss Robbie did for the other YouTuber, Miss Philly Phil. She said there was an implication of promiscuity because they said she was messing with Ike Turner and some other allegations that I just read an article. I didn't read the actual document. So I'm just going off what the article said. That's why they want to stick to those categories, because you don't have to prove damages. You just can say, I've been damaged in my career, reputation, whatever, and it's affected my pockets. So that's what people want to do. So that's why I was saying when I was on Larry's thing yesterday, I was just like listening to him. I'm like, that's a little tough. This back in the day, maybe, but now, not so much. You said y'all know that Linda looked. I'm just listen. Y'all not gonna have her over here talking about somebody is talking about her and her ministry. I get where she was coming from. If you're saying you're delivered from that, and somebody is saying that you're not, and you're still currently in participation of it, I get what you're saying. But Larry apologized 50 times, so I don't know what else she was wanting. Except I just kept hearing her. I started getting lost after she kept saying, pay me my money. I want my money. Pay me. You're going to come. Okay, I'll meet you at the corner with a check. I mean, he's the example of more money, more problems, because now it's like you can't say you're sorry, retract it, go on the platform, try to make sure that your members or whatever know that that's not what you were insinuating. You misspoke. And they still like, I'm coming for you unless you got a check. I'm like, oh, okay. You said, would Nicki have to take a drug? I would, but let's just think about that. By the time Nicki would have to take a blood test, let's just hypothetically saying that's what she's required to do. Do you really think she's gonna have drugs in her system if she just sued somebody for saying that was a lie? It's not like she could have made her drop on that day that she said that it happened. So I don't even know how that's going to be proven true or false, because she's going to deny it. because falsity is one of the elements of defamation. So she's gonna deny that she used any drugs. And how can I really prove that she did unless I got some witnesses that were like, oh, we were on the road and I seen her do that, or somebody snuck and took pictures, or somebody snuck and did video. Like, how do you really prove that? It's very difficult to prove. You know, you said, can I summarize that situation with Larry? Which situation? Which one are you talking about? That's kind of like people accusing Obama of being Muslim as if that's something horrible. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. There's some people that just, especially from a ministry standpoint, if that's your ministry and you're saying I'm delivered, but then somebody comes out that has a huge platform and says, without knowing that that's what they're doing, says, yeah, I know she made her book say she free, but she ain't free for real or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see her being pissed off. But it was just the she came from a place, because I don't even want to say it was a knee-jerk reaction, because she has so much time to deliberate. She put up videos. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I only watched half. But she put up videos. She put up of Matthew Stevenson saying she was without, she was without, above reproach. She was saved. She also had her letters of resignation. I mean, she was using StreamYard. She had a whole setup. So I can't even say that it was a knee-jerk reaction. This whole video was well thought out. But it just sounded like the anger that was there. And I mean, most of us pretty much made our assumptions about Matthew Stevenson and that whole situation at AMY anyway. So let me see. You said, well, Tasha needs to pay if she relocates to Africa. She gonna always have that judgment here in America. It don't matter if she goes to the moon. Oh, you said, is who a chronic user? I listen, I don't know nothing about what Nicki Minaj is doing. I'm just telling y'all what the lawsuit alleges. You said, how do Larry keep saying Tasha is his friend if this is a friend who needs enemies? Well, apparently Larry has changed his stance and his position on that, and he's not considering her a friend based on what I heard last night when he said Tasha isn't mentioned on this platform. So you say, is it defamation when Larry accused Whitehead of staging the robbery? That's an opinion. That was everybody's opinion. And their opinion was based on facts. They were based on the opinion, not based on facts that it was done. Let me retake that. For they say Pam know that the robbery, because I don't believe what everybody else believes about the robbery. I said what my belief is, but it depends on what facts outside of the robbery that you base it on. So if you look at some things of, have you ever robbed before? Have you ever been robbed before? Like, as long as you have certain facts that kind of formulate your belief, if it makes sense. So that's just an opinion that the whole world kind of weighed in on. Even Whitehead said 90%, he believes that 90% of the world thinks it was staged. That's what Whitehead said. And he doesn't understand why people believe that. That's just an opinion. We can't prove that one way or another. He came and said that Whitehead came and said he was going to do an update. Remember, like a month or so ago, a month after the events occurred, the robbery, and he really didn't have any updates. He said they don't have any suspects. They don't have anybody in custody. There was really no update. So everybody's speculating about everything, but everything is opinion. Nobody knows anything for sure as it pertains to the robbery. You said she just want to go to Golden Corral. Yes, guys, please hit the like. You said Larry has corrected that. Yes, Larry has corrected that on more than one occasion. Apparently, he apologized to her personally, according to her, but she wanted it on the platform, and he put it on the platform as well. So I don't know what else that she wants, but it's just if you look at any of the articles on Nicki Minaj that has come out, everybody keeps mentioning the Cardi B lawsuit and how Cardi B was able to win against a blogger. So now you have all, and she got millions for it. So now you have all these people, and they're going to be trying to follow suit, but the facts just aren't the same. So it's going to open up what we call, it's a slippery slope. So for example, I had a case in federal court at one point, and because I seen the way it was kind of going, I'm like, nah, we might want to just dismiss this right now with prejudice, because you don't want to make bad law. Sometimes you can make bad law. If there's nothing on the books and you see your judge is not feeling what you're doing, then you may want to wait, gather yourself, get more people on board, do more research, or do whatever you can. Because if those laws are not codified, that means statutory laws in your state, then when we go to court and we fight it out, that becomes law. That opinion of that judge can become law. So, mind you, when people go to court, it's probably going to be a lot of people trying to cite the Cardi B case when they try to hit you with defamation. So that's what people were concerned about. Like, Tasha, just take it down. Bloggers were concerned because they knew that this would be a slippery slope and start a trend that no blogger really wanted to happen. And it's happening. Okay, she said she in that 90%. They said Nicki been up for 40 hours straight. Well, what's she doing? Is she on Instagram? Is she tweeting? What is she doing for 48 hours? Child, there is no pleasing people. It's gonna always be something folk don't like. I agree. But and then when you have money, they really think that they're gonna get something from you. But see, what bothers me about this whole defamation thing is our freedom of speech is on fire. And that's what bad law does. It makes it where now all these people, some people got money to fight these, some people don't have money. You create a bad precedent for bloggers. That's what you're doing. When if you were wrong and if somebody told me, Pam, you got this from an article, you said I committed a crime back in the day, and I don't even have the paperwork for it, which I wouldn't report unless I have paperwork. But if I did that and they said I was acquitted of that, I really did not get convicted of that crime, I will retract it and take it down. It just ain't that deep for me. Like, I'm not gonna smear anybody's name purposefully. But if you ask me to take it down and I just tell you, oh no, I'm getting all the likes and all the views on this video, so I ain't taking it down. What you think gonna happen? Somebody's eventually going to make an example out of you. And that's what happened in Tasha's case. But that's not every blogger's testimony. So when I looked at like the lady that was doing the Tim Norman case, with Miss Robbie, she's been tracking this case since the beginning. I started in the beginning and I just got, oh man, I thought he was gonna plea like everybody else, but he didn't. But she's really been justice for Andre, the one that was killed. And when Miss Robbie like sued her, I'm like, here we go. And Miss Robbie sued her pretty much for what a caller said on her platform. She kept saying allegedly, all this stuff is alleged. We don't really have the proof. And the lady was kind of like, it's not alleged. I grew up with her. I know her. That's them. But you're going to hold the blogger's platform accountable, basically saying you should have kicked her off, never had her back on there because it wasn't true. That's what Miss Robbie basically is saying. You saying that she was unchaste and she was out here skipping and dipping. She's like, you trying to ruin my reputation. And we know Miss Robbie will sue you. I wouldn't even talk about Miss Robbie. Because remember, Miss Robbie, if you guys watch Sweetie Pies, remember Miss Robbie sued her own son. She sued Tim. When Tim started opening up them restaurants, listen, she was like, no, Tim, I didn't tell you can use my name. And she sued her own son. You said the thing with the Tasha K case is that it went global. I didn't know who TK was until a European talk show host asked her about the khakis. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. You said that Miss Robbie win. I'm not sure. Does anybody know what happened? I think she may have like dismissed the lawsuit or something. I don't know if it went all the way to the end. Sure, she sure is. She said, I'll sue my own kid. So you think you're not gonna get sued? Nah. But nevertheless, regardless, you do have free speech to give your opinion. I mean, you're not malicious with it, unless you just know for certain it's not true and you still report it and you know it's not true and you don't have any reservations whatsoever and you're still reporting it. You're allowed to have your opinion. And most of these people that the YouTubers talk about are public figures. Public figures. You thrust yourself in the limelight. You want people, you can't pick and choose what type of limelight you get when you thrust yourself in it. You may think you all that, but I may not like you and then give the opinion. I think they're arrogant. I think they're pompous. I think whatever, but you think you all that. So if you got to take the good with the bad when you want to be a celebrity. That's why I'm like, Pot, give me the money. Y'all can have the fame. I don't even need that. Hello. You said she won. You're saying Miss Robbie won the case against her son, against Tim? Yes. Listen. Well, we see where Tim gets his greed of money from, even though I do feel sorry for Miss Robbie. You said, can Giles and Larry find a countersuit? Absolutely, they can. There's a lot of laws that are, because people try to um, they try to stifle free speech a lot, trying to control it. There's been a lot of laws that have come out in various states where the main defamation claims come out that are very, very beneficial to the person of free speech. They err on the side of free speech before they will err on not. If there's a balance, it's going to be towards free speech if they can have it be towards free speech. You said the same goes for the bloggers as well. I'm like you, Pam. Give me money, and I'll stay in the island of my all my business. I don't even. You know what? With the defamation stuff, of course, I want to stay on it to see the trend and see where it's going, because hopefully I can educate many people so they can know. You can't. The thing about it's a different era because it's the internet. So if you had slander, which is verbal, and that's pretty much what we do now is we talk. It used to be where you had to show special damages in order for slander cases, because oftentimes we talk and it might be flippant. You have more of a chance of just saying something without thinking about it. Libel was like more easier for you to go ahead and get damages on because you done wrote it down. So obviously you got time to think about it. So it's been such evolution, especially since the internet. But they really do frown upon you. If I say, for instance, it's been case law that if you call somebody a crook, that's my opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean it's defamation. Somebody says you're sketchy or you're shady, that person is sketchy. That's not defamation. That's my opinion. So some words are hyperbole, so there really is no real meaning to it. So therefore, it's not defamation. It's just so much to defamation. I think people just feel like if their feelings were hurt, then it's defamatory, but that's not the law, because we have freedom of speech in our Constitution of the United States of America. And in every state, we have our own constitution. Listen, hey, Deb. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on through here. We just chit-chatting about all these lawsuits. Has anybody been keeping up with the R. Kelly trial? So R. Kelly, if you guys don't know, the trial in Chicago federal court the Illinois federal court. I just said Chicago, like Chicago was a state. But the Illinois federal court has went to the jury. It's in the hands of the jury. And yeah, they didn't come up with a verdict today. They didn't come up with a verdict today, which is usually there's some doubt somewhere there. Now it's going to be about who has the influence, who is the foreman, who can persuade the doubters. Because when they come back in an hour and a half, you're like, oh, okay, you might as well go ahead and pack your stuff up because you about to go do some time. It usually doesn't take long when they want to convict you. But when there's really some type of deliberation going on, it takes a couple of days. So this might go either way. So yeah. Oh, they did find him guilty today. They must have came back because they were like, what was he found guilty of? You said 3 out of 5? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they had me nervous. I was just saying, I just read it earlier when I was on the deposition and they were saying they were leaving for today. So I thought they weren't coming back. You said they just found him guilty according to the okay. I have to check that out. Okay, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for checking me because I showed the last time I looked, he was not found guilty. So you guys sound like you're happy for the verdict. His co-defendants were found not guilty on all charges. Oh my gosh. So 3 counts out of how many counts did he have, guys? So he was found guilty on 3 counts. So he was acquitted on most charges, but found guilty on some. Yeah, I figured that it couldn't have been where he was going to get like that New York case where they were just guilty, 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 guilty. I knew it couldn't be like that because it was taking them too long. And then they were asking questions like one of the questions was, is it coerce and entice, or is it coerce or entice? They were asking questions that made you say, Then it was some questions they were asking for evidence of certain things that never were put into evidence. So that's how I knew. I'm like, oh, he's going to be found guilty, found not guilty on some charges. 55. He didn't have 55 counts, did he? I don't think he had that many. So you saying he had 4? He was found guilty on 4? Y'all confusing me. Let me look this up. Let me look this up on my phone because y'all confusing me. Let me see. Okay. R. Kelly convicted of multiple child pornography and enticement charges on acquitted on others. So R. Kelly was convicted of multiple child pornography charges at a Chicago federal trial and acquitted on others, according to Chicago Tribune. Kelly was convicted on three of four child pornography counts and acquitted on charges that he conspired to obstruct justice in a 2008 trial, which stemmed from the '02 state case. He was also found guilty on 3 of 5 of enticement of a minor to engage in criminal sexual activity. Jennifer Bonjean, Kelly's attorney, said her client had a sense of relief that the case is now behind him and felt that prosecutors had overblown their case against him. She's considering filing an appeal. She's the one that filed the appeal. I think she represented Bill Cosby, and she also did his appeal in New York. That's pending. Jurors deliberated for about 10 hours after listening to 3 weeks of testimony. Oh, that wasn't that long. They made it like because he left the next day. I thought it's been like two full days of deliberation. Okay. Well, he about to do some time on that. That's a lot of charges. Wow. Wow. So I was rolling my eyes, look at the article. Oh no, you're good. Hey everybody. Hey y'all. So I also had a lot of inboxes about Bishop Whitehead. Sunday, he did his message, and it was very interesting in his message where he talked about his new venture, I guess. And let's see. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me take that down. That's that screenshot in the back. Oh, why that's coming up now? Okay. Yeah, I know I'm new to this.
The Lord is now starting to tap me into prophetic, the prophecy, and the economic industry. And I hear the Lord say that foreign money is going to change. I don't know what that means. But the Lord says the Dow Jones, as far as the stocks and stuff, foreign money is about to change. A lot of the money that didn't mean nothing is going to start to mean something. And the money that meant something is not going to mean everything. The Lord says He's shifting the globe.
This is the prophetic.
The Lord says, start to invest into foreign money. I don't know what this means. I promise you, I'm not into foreign money. I'm going to get into it. They call it foreign markets. I'm getting into that this week. Because the Lord said that foreign money is going to increase. The Lord is saying, I feel like I'm supposed to get paid for this. I promise you, but God said, tell the people, I promise you, I feel like I'm supposed to get paid for this. The Lord said, invest your US dollar into foreign money.
Y'all hear
And
that?
gather the foreign monies that's going to increase. Do you know about this stuff? I got to talk about that. I need you to help me with that. Yeah, I need to. I'm telling you, foreign, I hear the Lord say foreign money.
He said
Foreign
foreign
money.
money.
Oh, I understand.
So somebody said, where are the members? Well, at the beginning of this, he mentioned that he was rebuilding and that everyone would see more of him, I'm assuming, instead of his wife. So um because he's the leader, he didn't say like anything was going on with the wife, but he just said like they'll be seeing more of him in the forefront. And he basically played like tapes and stuff on that service on Sunday.
I had a meeting yesterday. That's why God. See, God opened up this window of prophecy. I had a meeting today. I just started a new company. Well, not a new company, but I just partnered and we just got a company. And um, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people from other countries. Because God says that I'm opening these up tomorrow up to international. Amen. So there's a lot of people in other countries that would love to be U.S. citizens. And I've been studying, and I'm continuing my studies with a program in the United States called the EB-5 program. Might not, I don't think you know about that? Like, this is different. This is different type of aid. But I just started a company with some partners. And what this company does, and they're licensed, that's the key. You have to be licensed to do this. So what this company does, we have developed into projects in the United States. And my partners, I'm into development, my partners have done over 20 of these and more. And these are $100 million developments, some 60 million, 70 million, 200 million. And what it is that the developers need money. So with the EB5 company that I've created, it helps the developers to build hotels, hospitals, things that look like Disney World. But what it also does, it helps foreign people get their citizenship in the United States. So there's a lot of people with money in other countries, but they cannot get their citizenship in the United States. So with this company that I've started, y'all want to call me Dr. now or later? Yeah, because I'm just overseeing, please don't make.
Okay, so y'all, I'm gonna explain what the EB5 is. People have called me about it and asked me, and I do have friends that do immigration, and I have a little bit of information on immigration. That's not my area of expertise, nor do I try to act like I am an immigration attorney. But there is a such thing as the EB5. But what he's talking about right now is that he's about to get his doctorate, honorary doctorate. He said, I don't know what college is giving it to him, but somebody's giving him an honorary doctorate. He announced that before. So now you're going to hear him say a few times, do y'all want to just call me doctor now, or do you guys want to wait? So that's what he's talking about when he asked the congregation, if you haven't seen this already from Sunday, do y'all want to call me doctor now or later?
I got too many that's watching. They probably commenting about my Louis suit right now. Watch this, y'all. So there are so many people that want to become citizens in the United States. So my company is also I became a lender to the developers that need money, 100 million, 200 million. And the people that are foreigners, they can get their citizenship by investing into my company. So if I need 100 million, I need 100 people to give $1 million to my company. And once the project is completed, they automatically get their citizenship. Watch this. And they get a percentage of the loan. Watch this. And when the developer pays back the money, they get their money back. Wow. Y'all want to call me doctor now? I'll wait till I go through the process, because this is what I'm telling you, right? Somebody say faith. I told you I'm buying a jet.
Say
I told you
Trump
that.
University.
Did I tell y'all that?
He said
I told you that. I told you that. I told you that I'm going to build hospitals. I told you that, right? Yep. I'm going to build hospitals. I'm going to build schools. I'm going to build colleges. Y'all watch. Because the favor of God is on my life. Yeah. And opportunity always presents itself.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the EB5 visa is a section of the Immigration Law Act. It's a section where it does allow people from other countries who obviously are multimillionaires to invest in our economy. So, say for instance, I have $2 million. I find someone to invest in that's investing into something that's going to create jobs within our economy. So that's why he mentioned hospitals, he mentioned schools, things of that nature. So something where it's going to generate jobs. You have to at least do $1 million. I think when you do it in certain urban or rural areas, then you don't have to do as high of amount, but that's literally the minimum. That person also, if they come from another country, they have to work in that company. Now you can do it it's a few ways that you can do this. You can either start your own business and invest that money. You have to work in it, and you also have to live in the United States while you're doing it. Or there can be a business that's defunct and you take over that business, revitalize it, it creates jobs, helps boost our economy. Or you can have it where it could be an existing business, but if you put your money into it, it has to increase the job rate by a certain percent. Let's just say 40. I'm just making this up because I haven't looked at the statute in a while. But they give out 10,000 a year. That's the last time I checked. They give out about 10,000 a year. They usually never reach that limit every year on these visas on people that donate this, not donate, but invest this type of money in the investors. They also have what's like called a regional community where you can invest in a regional community. Those are businesses who create these types of other businesses for these jobs. That's how it goes. Now, what it sounds like to me, he said, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, he made it as if he's almost a middle type of a person because you're saying you're investing into this. That's not the foreigners that's investing. So I really didn't understand, and I'm not well versed, so maybe it's something I just don't get. But he's saying he created a company. Then he said he partnered with some people. Then he said, so I don't know which one it is. I don't know if he partnered with some people because he said they have success in doing this. So maybe he somehow came into agreement with these people, and I don't know. Y'all got me. I'm confused. I know what EB5 is. So I just want to let y'all know that is real. I had a couple of people call me about that and ask me, like, is this really real? Yeah, there really is it's one of the small ways that people get into our country. It's so small that it lapsed. It was like maybe in the 90s, if I recall correctly, where they did a pilot program for this and then they kept renewing it. At one point during the pandemic, they didn't even renew this because it's just such a small portion, and they just renewed it in like March of 2022. They upped some of the amounts that you have to have in order to participate. So I've had a lot of people ask me about it. I do not profess to be an immigration, usually if it's some issues with that, even when I did criminal, I have friends that do immigration. And even my friends that do immigration said they rarely deal with this. But what I will say is I'm of the belief that if someone has $1 million to invest anywhere, they're going to have an attorney to make sure everything is good. If you got $1 million that you're trying to invest somewhere, I'm sure that you have attorneys that's looking over to make sure that it's up. He said he's always got something going on. He's a thinker. Y'all got to give it to him now. I know we drag him, but he is really a thinker. Like some of the stuff I would have never in a million years thought he would have came up. Like this is such a non-talked about type of area that is like, what made you even think about it? What's in your mind that you said, okay, well, let's talk about the EB5? I was shocked when he started talking about it. I'm like, what? He said, I'm working on my doctorate now, and it's no easy task, so I'll take offense of anyone getting it. Listen, I have plenty of people I love with honorary doctorates, and I feel the same way. When you've worked for it, when you work for it, you say you do. He is creative. Thank you. I'm like, come on, I know, but he and the thing is, and this is what I have to say. It's not like he doesn't have the potential with some of the ways his mind is moving. He doesn't have the potential to just go out here and really like make that money. He really does. He's showing that because I was like, what are you talking about right now? And he said, and as much as he wants to quote Isaiah, show it took me damn near 2 months to get through just through verse by verse, and I still got my mini thesis to write. Listen, it's no joke. I know people that I have a Juris Doctorate, If some attorneys go by doctor, I don't understand that. As you see, I go by Esquire. And ours is just going through the gruesome process of the bar exam. I guess that's our hazing process. But I've watched people go through the whole doctorate program. So he said this joker is talking himself into an extended stay. You know what? I take He struggles at times. He struggles. Well, he's been quoting "Touch Not My Anointed" for a long time, so it seems like that one he wouldn't struggle with. Alrighty, now when you put in the work, let me go back at some of these comments. He said, "I feel bad when the people or they follow him blindly." And then he made a statement because we had a couple of deaths in the last few days, and we had the murder that occurred in LA, and he was like, "Rest in peace. This is happening too much with Nipsey Hussle and all of them." And he said, "It's always black on black. It's the black people that hate me so much, and I don't know why. It's black people that rob me, but I don't know why." I'm like, "You really don't know why? Like you, you really don't know why?" Oh, okay. Unbelievable. But let's watch a little bit more of Sunday service if you guys, missed it.
And yes, it's going to be work. But at the end of the day, I'm not a little boy. I'm a grown man. So this is one of my new companies that I'm going to be promoting. And it all works out.
Happy birthday, Kathy. Y'all tell Kathy happy birthday.
And they're going to have investment in projects where they're going to make their money is going to make money. And when the developer pays their money, pay the money back, guess what? They get their bag back. And then some. So I'm sorry if I hang out with worldly people. See, everybody wants the bishop to be, "Oh, why are you out there?" Want to know why? Because a God that I serves all people. The Jesus that I serve loves everybody. You're not going to have me cooped up in the church. I can't wait till all these business ventures start to be moving. So I can say, "Yeah, come on. Go ahead, quit your job. Go ahead, you can make 200,000 right there." That's right. Yep. Yep.
He said he ain't bothered.
Yes, it is. And you're not going to stop me. Those comments are not going to stop me. Amen. And as God continues to bless me, watch this. I'm going to buy more Louis, more Gucci, more Fendi, more Balenciaga, more Christian Dior, more Burberry, more, 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 more. A jet. Oh, jet, yes. I think I was going to sign. Amen. And I'm not going to care what you say. I'm going to believe what God said. Amen.
So he said, if you're sick of him before and what he has on, y'all about to be sick of him even more now because he about to buy more Gucci, more Fendi, more Louis. He's going to have jets. He's going to fly in on helicopters. He's going to have princes tell him, "Hey, come to my country right now." And he's just going to jump up and leave. He said it gets greater later. That's pretty much what he was saying. He said those banners behind him cost more than the building. They did pan the church last on Sunday. They did pan the church, so I it was Maybe because somebody must have said that, because I thought that was different that they panned the church like that. But was a church load? He didn't say that. Now, at one point, you know how he said there was a church that he had in Georgia as well. I believe it was the Atlanta area. There were some videos of him actually in Georgia. So I guess at one point, maybe he flew there and would do church as well. I will never give him my time watch. It's hard. But when you have people that send you stuff, for me, I don't like getting stuff out of context. So somebody sent me like a 1 minute clip. I'm like, what is this? Is this real that he can do stuff like this? I'm like, yeah, there's such thing as EB5, but what is he saying? Like, what did he say before it? What did he say after it? So then I had to go back and then try to see exactly what he was saying, because I didn't want to take anything out of context, to make sure that I delivered exactly what he said if I was going to talk about it. He never has service at the other location. Is it still up and going? He's next level grifting. And then also, did you guys see about Ryan Chandler? That's what Thais was reporting on earlier. That was Thais who reported on that the guy who allegedly or is accused of murdering Ryan Chandler is out, and he's out on a technicality with no bond. I mean, it has nothing to do with bond. It's a technicality. I also read the affidavit. I caught that. Yeah, it was very, very sad. Very sad. What kind of preacher only talks about himself, Doris? Well, it's very, very interesting that you mentioned that, Miss Maria, because he talked about that too. He said, people are always saying that I'm talking about myself, but I don't. If people really listen, they would see the Bible and not see that I'm talking about myself. That's what he said. So he actually addressed that in Sunday's message. Yeah. Very, 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 very sad. Very sad. Well, yeah, I think we covered everything. It was a lot to cover. I was like, I can't wait till Friday on this, because it's going to take forever to get through. Oh my goodness. What is a malignant narcissist? You guys are using big words. What? A malignant narcissist. He read what happened. It was hard to sit through. It really, really was. It was very hard because it's just a horrible location as well. Arkansas still has some 1950, 1960s mentality. My father was born and raised in Forest City, Arkansas. His parents were on a plantation or farm, whatever you want to call it. And it was very, very interesting to me. I went down there, I want to say it was the late 90s, and my uncle passed away. And when I went to the funeral, it was like the guy that owned the land was there, and he wouldn't go in. And we're like, why aren't you? It's a white older guy. Like, why wouldn't you go into the funeral? And he said, because they don't go into the funerals for their workers. I was like, what? Like, this ain't 1955. Like, they still treated it like our plantation workers picking cotton, even though it's the 90s. Because you have to look at it when you look at, like, my grandparents, if that's all they knew and you don't really have that education, you still did that pretty much until you died, even if you were free. So Arkansas, if you look on their website, they got like 6 sheriffs and 1 black person. That's maybe more than one. I might be exaggerating, but it's a handful of black people that work there. So they still have that, even though they're so close to Memphis. Yeah, y'all, I got stories for days about Arkansas. And we usually go down because all our family, well, most of our family, that generation anyway, of my grandparents, like her sisters and grandfathers, sisters, and all of that. It's a place behind the church that they attended. Everybody gets buried there. I promise you, we go back there and we're walking and you almost falling into the ground in the back because it's in the back of the church and it's all leveled and everybody used to be buried there. Now, like the older generations, like my father's generation, they get buried in the places where they live. But yeah, it's very, very. It's like going back in time. And how they tell you is like when I used to go to Memphis to visit my cousins, they would say, "Do you want me to take you to the country?" Because I still had uncles and stuff that lived there, and they didn't want to move because that's all they knew. So they had a trailer sitting on the land that they still worked on, and that was like recent. So I was like, "Why y'all live here?" And it doesn't matter. You can try to pull them away from it, ask them to move in, what you offer to buy them housing or whatever, and they just want to live where they want to live. Yes, cross the bridge. Yes, it's horrible. So anyway, y'all, if you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like, please hit the share. We've talked about so much today, and I'm glad you guys hung out with me. And I hope you guys have a great, great Wednesday. Let's see if there's anything else on here. You said it's familiarity. Absolutely. And they don't want like to be living off of you or anything like that. They're like, this is how I make my money. This is how I've been able to survive. But to hear like a older white man say, your uncle was one of my best workers. I'm like, what? Like, you like, what you just say? That 7 Mile came floating out. I was like, what you just say? Oh, thank you. I enjoyed you guys too. As always, people with this personality supposedly get a sense of satisfaction from hurting others and may manipulate people or lie to gain money, acclaim, and other things. You better come with the definition of that. See, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all educating me. Yep, I got that. Thank you. Thank you guys. I miss you guys too. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank yous again to all of my mods for coming on and holding it down. So I am going to talk to you guys next time. I'll try to come back in a couple of days, maybe Friday ish. But I love each and every one of you, and I will holler at you next time.